Hey guys, Kinetica here, and welcome back to Game Gods. That was old school like the rest was. You know what I'm talking about. What are you gonna do when the Kinetica gets a hold of you? So, we're going to start out talking about Nintendo, and yeah, there's been a lot of Nintendo news because Nintendo just came out. The Switch looks really cool aesthetically, but is it any good? And for a while there, you know, if you check my older video, I told you guys what to look for and what the pricing would have to be for it to be a bomb-ass system. And the pricing, let's just say, it's not what it needed to be a bomb-ass system. That doesn't mean that Nintendo can't deliver on some games, but it does mean that it is not a bomb-ass system. Case in point. Okay, so Nintendo voice chat recently just got, you know, some updates, starting with the Splatoon headset. But in order to use all this gear and stuff, you need to use a cell phone. Now, as you know, that's a little weird because when I get ready to play Xbox or PlayStation or even PC, man, all I do is grab a headset. I grab one thing, man. One thing to play my games and talk to everybody. So here's what you need to play and talk to people on Nintendo. Okay? You need the cell phone. You need the voice app. And the voice app is super duper crappy pants. Let me just say crappy pants. For one, what makes it really bad is that you can't multitask on it. And when I say you can't multitask on it, I mean you can't do anything. You can't answer a call. You can't text message a friend. You can't, you know, back out of it to, I don't know, check your MyFitnessPal. You can't do anything. There is absolutely, positively no multitasking at all. You try any of it, get kicked out. Also, if you're not currently playing a game at that very moment, you get kicked out. You can't do any of this stuff that you can do with anything else. Also, there's a lot of cords that you have to use to get the thing working. If that wasn't bad enough, I mean, I'm not advocating the use of iPhones, but I'm not saying iPhone people shouldn't be able to use it. And iPhone people can't really use it in its current state because you can't charge your phone and use it too. I mean, that's kind of a oversight by Apple as well. They removed the jack, but Nintendo didn't think about that either. So that's something that you got to consider if you're an iPhone user. So let me just go ahead and say, you heard it here first. You heard it here first. Check the internet. You literally heard it here first, okay?
Nintendo, you got to step your game up. Now, they didn't mention the specifications, which right away is a red flag, because you know if they had some bolstering badass, yo, that's what Sony did, that's what Microsoft did, they're just playing around playing kid games. We're Nintendo, check out these specs. You know, if that was the case, it would have been in the video, but it was not in the video. So what that means is we need to be a little wary. Now, I know what you're saying. You're saying, Kinetica, what's the price in this thing? I thought you had some good idea about what was happening. What was happening? What was going on? All right. Let's go ahead and get to that. Get to the price. What we do know is it's a tablet, right? What that means is it's gonna be about this much. Okay. Remember, you heard that shit here first. This is your price. Bam! Right there, guys. That's your price.
The Nintendo Switch is a little bit on the poo side, all right? It's made for children. It's not actually a game console like the rest of us have when we play games. It's made for kids. It's a toy. So, now that we talked about Nintendo, you can't talk about Nintendo without mentioning retro consoles, because that's been the thing in 2016 and 2017, the retro consoles. And is that really a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Well, that's not what we're going to be debating right now. Hashtag retro good. But we're going to be talking about Sega because Sega wants to cash in on what happened with Nintendo and all that juicy classic that they have. You can't even get one. If you want a classic, you can't get one. You see one around me? There's not one here. And it's not because I don't want one. Hashtag send me one. But here's what's up with Sega. So they got the Sega Flashback, and this isn't their first attempt at a retro console. They actually had one last year. And the problem with this one is that, well, let's just talk about the good about it first, okay? The good is that it's only $80, and it comes with 85 games. 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 85. That's a lot of games, right? That's cool stuff, you know? And you're gonna be looking at games like Mortal Kombat. You're gonna be looking at games like Phantasy Star, Sonic, Altered Beast, Vector Men. I know happy kids out there don't even know what I'm talking about. You probably think I just spoke Russian or something, but those games were the OG games of OG gaming. Also, you're gonna get a cartridge port that's gonna play almost, quote unquote, all original games. Almost all original games. So that's cool. You got like old school Sega cartridges. You just put them in, you can play them. The other cool thing is you have 2 ports for wired controllers, and you have 2 wireless Genesis controllers that come bundled with it. Do you know what I would have done back in the day if I could have gamed wirelessly? Imagine the beast I'd be. Actually, I guess that wouldn't really change much, but it is pretty cool. Definitely pretty cool. The graphics on it are 720p, and of course it's an HDMI connection. I mean, what else would it be, right? And last but not least on the list of cool features is that you can pause the game, okay? You can save the game, and you can rewind the game at any point. That is awesome. Thank you, Sega. But right as I say thank you, Sega, let's talk about why you're not going to get this console. Take this with a grain of salt. Actually, don't take it with a grain of salt because a lot of people said this. But in this case, don't hate the messenger because GameSpot, CNET, IGN, and a whole lot of other news and reviews outlets, damn, they say it sucks. And I'm going to have to agree with them if what they're saying is true. First off, GameSpot did a review and they're saying that it drops a lot of frames. This thing's laggy as hell. And it's not even on the internet. How do you get lag without the internet? These games, oh my, don't even get me started. I'm not gonna go there, okay? The wireless controllers that were such a good idea, they don't even work. They just don't work. GameSpot actually ended the entire review by saying, this thing is marketed to cash in on the nostalgia, and it was marketed to trick you. God damn, GameSpot. That's a hell of a claim. That's a punch in the heart. So, Sega, I gotta ask you a question. Why would you do this to gamers? I know you want to cash in on the nostalgia. I know that you want to get some of that Nintendo money. And you know what? I would be the first to give you all of my Nintendo money if you did this right. I know you want to probably get this in at a price that gamers aren't going to flinch at $80 is a sweet spot. That's $20 more than the price of a game, or $10 more. Prices just keep going up, right? So that sounds like a good idea. But if you can't execute it well, Sega, then just don't do it, or raise the price that it takes to bring the actual nostalgia to us. Now, on the nostalgia hype train, choo-choo, we're going to keep it going, and we're going to talk about another nostalgia console. Now, you're probably like, Kinetica, man, just stop it. I can't even get a Nintendo classic. The one that Sega put out is a bunch of crap. You're breaking my heart, Kinetica. Well, fear not, my faithful legion, because I bring to you the Atari Flashback. You're like, is everything called a flashback? Fucking apparently, man. I don't come up with the names. But Atari is coming out with their own flashback. Classic kind of console nostalgia thingy, right? Now, this is going to be playing a bunch of Atari games. And they have a couple different versions, but I'm only going to talk about one because you really should only bother with one, okay? Just bother with one. It's the $80 Activision Gold Edition, okay? And that comes with 130 games. Now you're looking at games like Space Invaders, Asteroids, Indy 500, Keystone Capers, Millipede, Oink, Pong Video Olympics. Now, if you didn't know the games that I mentioned on the Sega list, then you definitely don't know those, and you probably think I'm speaking Greek at this point. But for the rest of you OG super hardcore mega gamers out there, you know what I'm talking about. Now, this one's going to come bundled with 2 wireless controllers. They haven't been reviewed. We can only pray to the GodKenetica that it works. I don't know. If I can make it work for you, I will. This is also 720p. I don't know why they're not 1080p, but I mean, it's Atari, man. I don't even know if the television came first or the Atari came first. This is how old these games are. Either way, you guys need to look forward to this because it's gotta be better than Sega, okay? And it'll probably be as good as the Nintendo one, if not better. Let's be honest. These graphics, they're like 3-bit, not even 8-bit. A 10-year-old could code an Atari game. So these have to be done well. I'm looking forward. You should too. So the last 2 things on the list we're going to be coming up on, super short stories, but one of them has a lesson wrapped in it, okay? Fortnite. So Fortnite, if you don't know, is a team survival building tower defense-y type game. It's really unique in the way that it's executed, and it's not done poorly. It is a really new game, and there's a lot of content that should be put into it before they call it complete. Let's just say that. But what they have so far looks really good, okay? Now, here's the problem. Here's the problem. When you go and see this game on your Xbox or your PlayStation 4, or you're on the interwebs and you're like, hey, maybe I should download a copy of it. It doesn't say that it's in early access. Now, this is actually a serious issue. Okay, let me just put it this way. Let's say you had this killer party that was about to drop on Saturday night, right? So through the middle of the week, you go to the bakery and you go, oh my God, that cake in that picture, woo! It looks hot. I need that cake for the party this Saturday. And they're like, hey, don't even worry. We got you. We're going to hook it up. So you come Friday night, you pick it up, right? Bam. You get the box, the cake's inside, you put it in the fridge. Saturday night, the party's hopped off. Everybody's partying, the strobe lights are strobing. Everybody's ready to get down with this cake. You open the box, there's only half a cake. Well, that's what an early access game is. So when you advertise an early access game like it's a full-fledged copy, that's a big problem. In fact, I'm going to go as far as to say that's fucking false advertising. And the problem is that it should just simply say early access near the title. When you see it on your PlayStation or your Xbox, it should say Fortnite early access. Just have one of those cool little stamps there. No biggie. People will still buy it. People will still have fun with it. But they don't have that. And I just wanted to make you guys aware of that. Because obviously the companies and the powers involved, and Sony, yes, you're to blame. They're advertising on your console and you have it right there under featured. Same with you, Microsoft. You guys aren't taking responsibility and making them just put 2 little words right there, early access. So you guys be aware that it's not the full game. They're actually kind of misleading you. They're actually straight up misleading you. It's an early access title with kind of a full game indie price on it. Be aware of that. One other thing I do want to make you aware of, because they're not talking about it a lot right now because they want the money. But the developers early on said that Fortnite was going to be early access and you would be able to buy it, kind of like you are able to do right now. But next year, it's going to be free to play. So while you guys are, out there thinking about buying it, I get it. They're going to give it to me for free next year. So I get this game free next year just by being patient. But it's your call. Do whatever the fuck you want to do. Spend your money, but just making you aware. So for our last one, Call of Duty in the headlines again. Give me a month where it's not. So Call of Duty 4, as you know, released, and we talked about it a little bit. And no surprise, the controversy, people upset, the pricing, blah, 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 blah. But here's a problem that's equally as big as bad pricing. bad game performance. Apparently you guys on PC are really unhappy with how the game plays. Like, people are complaining about frame rate, bugs, and the population is really poor as well. So if you buy the game, it's not going to play that nicely, most likely, and you're not going to have very many people to play it with. Not just me saying it. You guys on Steam as well have it at only 30% positive review. For those of you who may not be so hot on the math game, that means 70% of people in Steam fucking hate it. Anyways, guys, that's been our This Week in Gaming, and we're going to be coming out with hot content every single week, because that's what we do. And, you know, some of you guys know me as the Yi Guide, League of Legends Master Tier Master Guide. So I'm going to make sure to get some content like that up on the channel too. Anyways, guys, that's been This Week in... Whoa, that's a Nazi. I was like... But... Du hast video games. Okay. Okay, here we go. All right, guys, so take 48. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I was trying to like do a little dance, but it came out looking something like a cross between a dab and a Hitler salute. So Kiyomi made me laugh, and obviously we're not gonna put that particular cut in the video, but that's why I can't stop laughing. Okay, anyway, guys, so remember to like, bam, hit it in the face like it's your mama and she took your Nintendo away. Comment in the comment section, because I actually hang out there more than anybody should. And subscribe to join the Legion of the Gods. Subscribe.